Hello, I'm Michael Orwig, and welcome to this channeling by Sarah Adams. I had the pleasure of filming it this afternoon. It was very impromptu. Sarah lives here at the house with my wife and I, and frequently she is in an altered state, but rarely do I have my video equipment set up. It just happened to be I had done an interview already today. And in this particular instance, she had all kinds of information from Spirit coming through. We put her on the couch. She couldn't even sit in the chair. She was already that much out of body. And we just filmed. So I hope you enjoy it. She's in no way in any kind of alternate substance or anything like that. It's just the way she is when she's really working in an altered state. Thank you.
Because of humans and all of the things in their minds. You should probably tell them for me. They do not understand this, how I am. So you should probably tell them for me that you know I'm not on one of their substances, that this is simply me. There is the great refinement, purification going on. A fire is happening, an unseen fire. This unseen fire. It's not physical, it's a spiritual fire. Because the control systems of this world, they were not built upon empathy and compassion. They were not built upon life and evolution. They were not built upon good foundations. And when you do not build a house upon a good foundation, it crumbles and falls. These systems are crumbling and falling, and they will do so as time comes before us. They are as a house of cards. They cannot withstand. Many prophets, many have been sent to you. These many, throughout different of what you would call countries in this planet, on this planet, they came to say to you, look not to your leaders, look not to wealth and riches, not to greed or the exploitation of others. Look to God, which is within you. Yet the masses did not listen, for they only were seeing with their eyes, not through their hearts, not through their eyes. So they failed to acknowledge these messages. And because of this, there has been so much karma that has amassed on this planet. Karma for the starving, for the suppressed, karma of the suffering. All this has now come up to be processed. There will continuously be suffering on this planet until this is processed. Humanity must learn to treat each other and themselves better. And unless they experience this fire, this refinement, having to look the karma of their deeds in the face, they will not change. It is not the divine, nor any other beings that has brought this upon humanity, but rather themselves. In this time of refinement, there will be many who feel a sort of a sense of heat within themselves. And they will have massive amounts of nightmares and of other things come up. This is for them to reflect on these things, on their unhealed karma, on the things they have not cleared and cleansed from within themselves. This process has already begun. It began a year ago, and now it's getting more intense, and it will get more and more intense for many people until they find their true core self, their original selves, their original soul blueprint before they got lost in this 3D world. This is a time for the return of the soul. We will no longer put the physical above all. We shall start to put the soul above all on this planet. This is all the great prophecies. This is what they meant, to put the light of the soul, the light of God within above all. This refinement process is not determined as of now. The refinement process depends upon all of you. Your leaders are lost. Your systems are broken. There is no dignity in all of them, no compassion or love. They are built upon death and destruction. This must go. This must fall away. And then the world that you want will come. And it is up to you. There is no set time. Only you can determine such. You can determine this by changing. Look within yourselves. Be more compassionate. Find the divine within. Stop looking to your leaders who cannot save you or bless you, to your systems that are built upon empty things, and look to the truth of your power within. There be many beings of light, many beings, and they stand with you, but they cannot save you. You must save yourselves. You have the power over the elements. You see, God is you, and you are God. You have the power of the elements within you. You can tell the oceans to heal. You can tell the skies to be cleansed. You can tell each other to heal. But many of you on this planet are lost. So you carry your hurt as a disease to each other. You wish ill upon each other. So you manifest illnesses and diseases. You manifest hatred and sadness. You do this because you're creators. You do not understand it. But when you pass these things to others and you harbor these things within yourselves, you're creating those realities. Change your realities. Start giving unto one another compassion. Give unto one another love and healing. And so that this shall spread around your planet, and you will be forgiven. Forgiven for not hearing the voices of the suffering, of those who were completely lost and had no voice. All those voices are being heard right now as Saturn. Saturn is reflecting everything. There is a reset on Saturn happening that is reflecting all this to Earth. It's mirroring it 1,000,000 times more than usually. Because of this, Earth is going through a refinement process. But remember, when one becomes one with God, which is the soul, one may tell the elements what to do. One may tell the planets what to do. For the ancients, they could tell the planets to rise or to fall, and the planets would listen to them. They could tell the planets to move, and thus the planets would move, for they aligned the suns and the moons and the stars. Just by thinking a thought, that thought connected to the energy of their soul. God. They realized they were God. So they created these structures you have. They put into motion the planets and the suns. They created your structures you have here on Earth that you cannot explain in human words and human intellect or human knowledge. For they could move the stones with their minds. They could move bodies of water to create oceans and lakes, rivers and streams. For we are all spirits. And there be many, many spirits that serve humanity willingly, out of love. Look at your mountains. They were spirits that they decided that their energy would be condensed into solid form to create mountains so that you could climb on, so that you could see their beauty. This is the love they give you. The oceans. Your ocean is a great spirit. She does not come from this planet. She willingly came to this planet out of love. Many, many of the things that you think are from this planet, they're different spirits that are all working together to create your planet. I honor them, and they honor me. We must all honor them. We have hurt them. We have hurt the mountains and the trees. We have hurt the oceans and the lakes. We have not been noble to ourselves or others. We have not been compassionate and understood all of creation is sacred. Your trees that you have on this planet, many souls, many of you, sometimes and many times you do not wish to have bodies again. So you go and you rest as a tree. So many trees are human souls. Many animals are human souls. Sometimes animals come and they incarnate as humans, and then they leave their human form and go back, and sometimes humans go. You're just not one specific soul, as defined of. There are many forms, in many creations, in many dimensions, in many bodies, in many realms, on many planets, in many different universes that you have walked and you have existed. For you are eternal. But you sit there broken, not understanding this. And the divine hurts to see you, all of you on this planet, to see you suffer. For it is in the will of the divine and the hostess of the realms. And there be many realms that each one of you find God within and heal. That each one of you become whole again. And that each one of you acknowledge that this planet is alive and you're one with it. You're one with that sun that shines beautifully. You're one with the stars. All the universes. And you are powerful above all. Your systems, they suppress you. They take your power from you. They push suffering upon you. These systems you sit at the mercy of. And their leaders who are empty men, who are afraid of God. They're afraid that each one of you find your power and know your God, and that they will be useless in the end. For they have not faced themselves. They only care about greed, about power and status. They do not know what empathy or compassion is. These systems will fall, and the more that they fall, you, each one of you, must go into yourself and find that power. This is the coming of the golden age, of the ages of peace and prosperity. I must let you know this. When a leader is selected over a land, he is to be of nobility and dignity and compassion and empathy. For if he be not that, people will not receive blessings, because the divine does not acknowledge that leader. And a leader has the ability to, just by being such, to bless his land. So if he comes from a state of compassion and love and goodness, his people and his lands will be blessed. Barren leaders who have nothing within create barren lands and people who are depleted. A leader is supposed to be a channel for the divine to come through, not a person of greed, not a person who wants only status and power. For God, the divine, does not respect such and shall never respect them. The leaders of this planet should look very much into changing their ways very soon, for their karmic books have been opened, and its waters have been poured out. Whether it's the sweet waters because the deeds have been good, or the sour waters because one's deeds have not been of goodness. There cometh a time when corruption will not be tolerated, neither will suppression of the people. None of these things will be tolerated. Neither will be greed or want for power. There will come a time when all these things will be obsolete. This comes after the refinement. This comes when many have found the power of the divine within them. So this earth is spinning out of control right now. Its magnetic field is not stable. I speak to the earth and the spirits, and they have relayed this to me. This earth is, as I stated, a spirit. All planets, suns, moons, stars are spirits, very ancient spirits. This spirit of this planet only reacts to love. She will not be forced by the technology of your militaries. She will shake and rebel more. She will cause the waves to crash upon the shores. She shall cause her volcanoes to erupt. She will fight against you, and none of your technology can control her. She is the divine aspect, the divine feminine. God source is combined both of an equal balance of the divine masculine and feminine energies. She is rebelling, and she will rebel. Only those who have achieved oneness with the divine can say to her through love, "Do calm, I request of thee," and she through love will calm. This is the way to save your planet. You cannot escape to other planets. They will rebel too. You must face yourselves. You must access your divinity, and you must speak to the spirits. There is no escape from this refinement, neither in your bunkers, neither in your spaceships, neither with your technology. There is nowhere to escape from God, because God is everything. And there is no escape in something that is everything, something that's omnipotent and omnipresent. There is no escape. So you must understand this. It is the better route to take, to understand rather than to battle against. For many abomination of technologies have been created to control this planet and its forces. The spirit that we walk upon, that allows life to inhabit, she so willingly does so through love. There is no technology that shall ever be able to control her. So I suggest this. Be wise in your interactions with the divine. Be wise in your interactions with this planet. Do not attempt to force her anymore with your technologies, with your abominations of technologies. Speak to her and understand her, and return to your souls. This is your solution. If the sun becomes too hot, you can tell it. You can tell it to stop being so hot. You can tell it to cool down, and it will do so. You can tune the different planets and the different moons and suns when you are aligned with the divine. But forcing these things through technology will never ever be any success and such. For all the spirits have risen up. They have risen up, and this is their time. All the spirits and all the hosts of the other realms, whether you want to call them, some of them aliens, the spirits of the earth and the trees, of the ocean, all the spirits have risen, and they will not be silenced. And this is their time. It's time for humanity to look at its spirit and understand the sacredness of all. It's time for us to unite the physical with the spirit and become one, rather than just living in a physical life and ignoring our souls and ignoring these great spirits that allow us to inhabit them, that give us beauty in the mountains, in the oceans,